Okay, hello everyone. I am back again today. This is Ben Hart, and I am somewhat happy to say we're definitely back at work here at the office. I'm done with that for now. Something else coming off Thai New Year and then getting back to work. It's a bit of a jolt, but happy to be back at work. Always happy to be working. That's always a good thing. So I'm just going to do a quick one here, as the title suggests. I'm asking the question, what is a money commodity? And in the prior video I did, I was talking about this from PR Newswire, prnewswire.com. This is, again, it's this announcement or press release, whatever you want to call it, titled, "The Digital Currency Monetary Authority, DCMA, launches an international central bank digital currency." And as we noted in that prior article, or in that prior video where we were citing this article, this happened under the auspices of the IMF, International Monetary Fund. But there's this quote I want to go over again, and I'll put the link in the description below so you can go look at it yourself. I've already put it up in the prior video, but I thought it was worth it to do this again. I want to quote this one more time because I've really been mulling on this for a couple of days. Universal monetary unit, symbolized as ANSI character U, which I've been told by German friends is U, I guess. It's a U with two dots over it, is legally a money commodity, can transact in any legal tender settlement currency, and functions like a CBDC to enforce banking regulations and to protect the financial integrity of the international banking system. I kept thinking of this money commodity, legally a money commodity. And I've never heard it put like that, money commodity. Sort of hyphenated. It's not hyphenated in this text, but these are two different things. I remember taking the bar exam and they were talking about money, cash, and can you pass clear title to cash? And I was doing I think it was bar review prep course for the bar. And the answer is yes. You can always pass clear title to cash. If a bunch of bank robbers go rob a bank and then split with the money and then spend it, the people they spend it, who it ends up in sort of the chain of custody thereafter, it's their money. Clear title moved to it. It's cash. You have to have clear title moving with cash. A money commodity, if it's legally money, presumably you would have that same functionality where title to that money would move. Presumably. And I don't know. They're just making this new word up. So what the sort of tax lawyer in me and just the lawyer in me started really kind of mulling this over. If you had a money commodity, the reason I think you would use that sort of mixed phraseology would be, from a tax standpoint, you get it coming and going. So let's go back. I can't remember when it was when they were talking about that global tax. They wanted to do a global tax. And I think they said it was like a minimum 15%. They were just going to set up a global tax. And if I remember right, I think it was done through the OECD. I could be wrong on that. But long story short, there's clearly an impetus out there amongst some quarters to create sort of a global tax structure. If you have something that's simultaneously considered money and a commodity, I can see a myriad different ways you'll always be able to tax that. So, for example, if it's income, and you're in a jurisdiction that taxes income, money hitting you, even though you may have clear legal title to the money that has come into your possession, you would be presumably taxed on that as income. Now, a commodity works differently, and this has been something that I've been interested to watch banking regulators, policymakers, and folks in the crypto space. I'm not anti-crypto. I'm not exactly pro-crypto. I have some crypto, but I'm not overly enamored with it. I can see the implications, how long-term it may have some substantial benefits in certain ways. But crypto makes me uneasy for a variety of different reasons. Mostly on a certain level because I don't understand it fully, and that always makes me uneasy. But what I do know about crypto is that they primarily treat it as a commodity or as a security in many legal contexts. And I'm not talking law here specifically. I'm more conceptualizing this notion of money commodity. So let's say 100 years from now, the world is on this system where every transaction occurs with a money commodity. That could very well lead to some very weird ramifications. Because, for example, let's say you have your own money, you come here to Thailand, you've got $5,000 US, you come to Thailand, you're staying here for 2 months, you figure you can get by on that. You come in, you leave the airport with your cash, you convert it into baht, into Thai baht at one of just the local exchange places. When you exchange that money into baht, yes, the exchange people take a cut of money. It's kind of the VIG, if you will, associated with that transaction. And then they pay some money to a tax authority for the money that they make on making that transaction. But you don't really pay anything. I mean, you could argue maybe they indirectly pass along whatever tax they have to pay to you. But at the end of the day, what you're doing is transferring from one currency to the other. I could see a scenario where this form of digital money, what they're talking about here, this universal monetary unit, also referred to in this as, I believe somewhere along the line, Unicoin. They call this Unicoin too, which has kind of a creepy name, but okay. But it's a money commodity. So they can get you coming and going. If it hits you, and I mean comes into your, if a taxable event occurs where it comes into your possession, if it's money, it could be construed as income. If for example, though, you decide to transfer it into some other, as they say, can transact in any legal settlement currency, legal tender settlement currency, okay, are you now going to pay some form of capital gain on the conversion from this money commodity to legal tender settlement currency? I don't know what the answer is to that. But what I do know is when folks start making up new words or taking old words and combining them in a way that you've never seen before, it's something you need to kind of be aware of. And I guess that's the only point of this video. I don't know exactly what this means, but the notion of a money commodity, to my mind, it's kind of been itching at my brain for the last, well, since I made that video. And I thought I'd make this one. It's interesting. There's a lot of permutations to this if we see these, what I would call infrastructural changes to the global, I hesitate to call it a currency system. I don't think that's quite correct under present circumstances. I keep in my head thinking of railroads. It's like all of these are like railroads, different railroads that may interact with each other and have interoperability to one degree or another. But what they're fundamentally moving is capital. They're moving wealth around from one jurisdiction to the other for various purposes. And again, this notion of legally a money commodity, and then they go on to use the term can transact in any legal tender settlement currency, which presumably is what we're used to as far as what a currency is. It's going to be really interesting to see the way practically this would be differentiated. How practically is this going to, what impact is this going to have? If you have a wallet that has this kind of money commodity in it, is everything you do a taxable event with that medium of exchange? Because it's both money and a commodity? I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. So I think it's really interesting. and I'm going to keep chomping on stuff and just posting as and when I see the need to. And hopefully people that are watching this find it interesting. Everybody out there, have a good one.